We're back with another edition of What We Know That You Should Know. Again, doing what we do, rolling out the in-home water purifiers. We come across industry experts who have information that's beneficial to you, and we'd love to share that with you. We are back with Mr. Ernest Corbett. I don't think he needs an introduction. He was introduced in the first video. Let's just say we're back with Bugamina.
Bugamina.
So today, I just wanted us to touch on one of the biggest misconceptions that people have when it comes to investing in property is that you need to have money. So I just wanted you to address that. Is that true? Do you need to have a whole lot of capital to start investing in property?
Okay, let me answer it like this. I once saw a man almost die because he saw outside his bedroom door a sign from a witch doctor, and he believed that to mean he was going to die. So his purpose wasn't to live, his purpose was to die.
Okay.
And he nearly died. I managed to save him. But why I'm telling you that is the senior thing is purpose. What's the difference between a young person and an old person? It's usually purpose.
Okay.
The old guy doesn't have a purpose. So everything's a problem. You know, don't slip and fall, you'll break your leg. What does he do? He slips and falls and breaks his leg. A young person, it doesn't happen. So that's what you've got to understand. If you don't have a purpose, you can have as much money as you like. It's wasted. Because you'll do nothing.
That's true.
Probably wasted, actually. So there's two ways. The one you marry money. No, I'm kidding. They don't do that.
Yes.
Well, if you can be lucky, you go for it. No, but the thing is, and I'll give you an example of purpose. When we came to Joburg, you know the whole story, I was determined to develop properties of my own without a partner. So I had very strict policy. Don't do it this way, no partner, it must be on my own, not necessarily on my own terms, but it's for the creation of an income source for my family.
Okay.
And the reason why I wanted to do that is I thought a major realization, this is changing the subject slightly, and that is that if you're in a position where your basic needs, financial needs, are catered for, it's a power condition, because at that point you can become very creative.
Okay.
But while you are having to work to pay debts, you in fact are a slave. You are a slave like before. Only difference is you're a debt slave.
Okay.
So it's very difficult to be creative. You have to go to work, you've got to earn some money because you've got to pay the bill. So there's very little creativity allowed.
Okay.
Okay, so obviously each purpose that you have, you don't have the purpose to be a billionaire if you're earning 10,000 rand a month.
Yeah.
That's not a purpose, that's just a little wish. A blind, that's of no value whatsoever. But the original purpose was to get myself into a position and my family where our basic needs were covered.
Okay.
So it's a very strong purpose. And in order to get to that, what I came up with is a clever idea. And the idea was, you see, I didn't want partners, I had no money.
When you say you had no money, is that a real zero?
Real, proper.
Because zero is like relative.
When we moved to Johannesburg, I told you how I bought my house. Well, there's another example of how you don't need money. Shall I give you that example?
Okay.
It's an easier gradient.
Okay. And then we just want to make it clear to everybody that you had zero money. You don't mean you had 100,000 in a mattress and then
I had no money.
There was some inherited, it was zero.
Look, I had a farm
down
in the Eastern Cape, but I couldn't sell it.
Okay.
Or I hadn't sold it. So I had no actual cash.
Yeah.
So I decided, I had a purpose, that my family should live in a nice environment with space. I don't live in apartments. So I found a property here, and I thought, gee, I like that property. I'm going to talk to the owner. Went in and I spoke to the owner. I said, listen, I'd like to buy your property. I didn't say to him, but I have no money. That's unnecessary. My purpose was to buy the property. So I had a question. I said, excuse me asking, do you have a mortgage on this property? He said, no, I don't. I said, that's interesting. Now I believe you're selling. Why are you selling? He said, well, I need to get to Australia very quickly. Two very interesting bits of information. And the point is that if I wasn't willing to communicate, I wouldn't have learnt all that.
Okay, that's okay.
So the first thing is to know that you don't know. So if you don't know, you can then find out. So I said, well, that's interesting. I'd like to buy it. But here's my proposal. And excuse me if it sounds cheeky. He said, what is it? I said, I'll sign a deal with you right now. You want 300,000 rand for the property. Let's say that was the amount.
Yeah.
I'll give you 200,000 cash and 100,000 in 3 years' time. He said, oh, how would that work? I said, it's very easy. The 200,000 I'll get from the bank on the first mortgage.
Okay.
Your 100,000 I will secure for you with a second mortgage in your favour, but I can't pay interest because I'll battle to pay the interest on the first 200. So, and that'll be in 3 years' time. He said, well, can you do the deal now? I said, yes. He said, well, let's do it. I trust you. So I said, fantastic. I said, I got one last favour to ask. He says, what could that be? Isn't this enough?
Yeah.
So I said, I've got a bit of a problem. I don't have cash to pay the transfer costs. So let's take that 100, make it 110, and you give me the 10 now in cash, so I can pay the costs. He said, fine. So I bought the property, went to the bank, got 200, and paid for it. And 3 years later, gave him his money, 110 back. So it had nothing to do with money. It had to do with, I had a purpose. I wasn't trying to be clever. I arrived there with my wife, my 3 children. I told them my story, where I'm from, that I've had a bit of a bad luck recently. I don't have available cash, but I have a lot of promise because I have high integrity, I work hard, and I have a very clever wife.
Clever wife?
Yes.
Okay.
It's important to say that.
Okay.
Because you can see I can't be very clever if I'm 42 years of age, have got 3 children, and have no money. I'm obviously very stupid. And he's right. Well, I must be stupid.
Okay.
And when the scoreboard was 0,
Yeah.
that is a losing team.
You got to be honest, eh? You got to look at the situation.
Yeah. You know, the senior thing on this universe is communication. Because if you communicate with the intention to be clever then, how's it going to end up? Other guy's going to say, hey, Futsak, Bogamina.
But if you communicate with the...
Yeah, with true intention. Like, this is my story. This is what you have a problem. You're in a big hurry. Why he was in a hurry, I don't know. But who knows? You know, maybe he robbed a bank. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it served. He was happy. Here, he met my family. You can see what kind of person I am. I'm not.
Okay.
I told him.
And did you take that lesson into your business? How you got that far as well?
Oh yeah, this is worth money now. Eh?
Okay.
You don't have to pay me from now.
I owe you the first cup of coffee from the first one. I'll pay you the second cup. This time it'll be a latte.
No, don't drink latte.
Okay, Rooibos.
Too much milk.
Rooibos.
Okay.
Black.
Now the next thing is, then I thought, how can I develop property? So I thought, okay, let me go and find out how a bank thinks, because I don't know how they think.
Okay.
So I went to the bank that I knew I wouldn't go to for a bond, which of course would be ABSA.
Okay.
Because they were Buddha Mafia heroes in the early days.
Yeah.
They don't like Engels and Mensa.
Yeah.
So I went to them and I found out, how does it work? What's important when you lend money? What do you look for? What don't you look for? I asked very stupid questions, but I got answers. And I found out that what's important to the bank is in some way for them to be relieved or content with the idea that you can pay the interest. That's really, really all they're worried about. Until you become a well-known person for them and you have a track record and assets and all of that.
Okay.
But when you have nothing, how can they judge? So I thought, that's interesting. Now how would I do that? So the first property I found that I liked, very busy road in Germiston, I went to the owner and I said, listen, do you want to sell? He said, I do. I said, okay, I've got an unusual deal to offer you.
Okay.
I'm willing to lease your land for 50 years. I'll build a building on it. It'll look sort of like this, 6 shops. I estimate the rental will be so much, and I'll give you 10% of my gross income every month, a check. And for you to be sure of the whole deal, your accountants can do the books of this little company.
Okay.
I don't mind. And we'll have some conditions. I can't let to my brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got to be market related, and at any time you can do a survey of the market and see whether I'm truthful or not. I don't mind that at all. But it's gross, so I can't cheat you in any way. And at the end of the 50 years, your family gets the building paid for. And of course, I must undertake to keep it in good shape.
Okay.
I can't hand you something as the walls all falling down. There must be a penalty for that.
Okay.
So, he's got a good deal. So he said, what a good deal. Then I went to the bank. The bank's never heard of that. They've never heard of long-term commercial leases. Never been done before in South Africa.
Okay.
So I did some research in London, and in most of London is 99-year leases with original aristocrats
Okay.
that leased the land to all sorts of people. They were clever in those days. They knew at some point it would be valuable. So I said to them, well, that's how London operates. And I said, actually, as a banker, you should think it's a fantastic idea. Because it's almost like I've paid for the ground. Because it actually isn't a liability. Because and I showed them my numbers. Look, if I let this shop at that much, this shop at that much, this shop at that much, and so on, it'll give an income of X. Okay, interest to you would be, let's say the income's 100.
Okay.
Your interest is 50. I've got 50 over. I pay him 10, I've got 40 over. It's viable. So where's your risk? Took a long time to convince them. They said, okay, we'll look at it. Then I placed an ad on the site, attracted a whole lot of mainly Indian traders in those days. Pillay, Woodley, Naidu, all those guys.
Yeah.
And I said to them, listen, this is what I'm doing, and I need your cooperation to work with me to get the mortgage.
Okay.
Now, I need a photograph of you and your wife and your children. I need a photograph of your shop, inside and out. I need a letter from your wholesaler saying how long you've been buying stuff from the wholesaler.
Okay.
And if possible, some sort of letter from your bank. Now, they were keen to help me because they wanted the shops.
Okay.
So I selected the 4 or 6 guys, let's say I had 6 shops, and I asked them each for that. They prepared all of that. And when I went to the bank, I said, fine, here's the first tenant, Mr. Woodley, here's his wife, there's his 3 kids, there's his shop, he's been there for 20 years, here's a letter from the wholesaler. You see, what this means is credibility.
Okay.
That's what,
you see, real.
Exactly. What does money mean to a bank if you're giving them money? Is credibility, because you're committing. So I said, here's my credibility. These are genuine people. Been in business for 20 years, 25 years, family man, not some casino operator selling drugs. None of those. These are all good guys. They want these premises to make a living.
Okay.
They're not trying to cheat somebody. So they're going to pay their rent. And they said, the bank said, fine. They gave me the mortgage. And I built a building. So that, why I'm going to this long and lengthy explanation is, didn't take any money. It took
creativity.
Yeah, but a purpose. I had a driving purpose to create for my family. Well, that's what did it. And then we did it again and again and again and again and again. And we built an empire. We built a nice business.
Nice.
Yeah, you see, the senior thing on this planet is purpose.
On a final note, what's been the single most expensive lesson you've had in your property investment? And I go to that example because people learn from pain. So what was the one thing that you learned that you'd love to share?
When I invested overseas with other people, I lost.
Okay. What happened there?
I lost control. If it's good enough to do it yourself. I used to find the sites myself, find the tenant myself, sign the lease myself, collect the rent myself. In the early days. Because that's what it takes. It takes that hard work to break through into different levels.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
It's a pleasure. Sir.
I'll get you that rooibos and the coffee from the first one. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. I hope you get lots of value from that.
Yeah.